All right, I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting of the State Crisis Intervention Program Crisis Advisory Board to order. Staff, can you call the roll?
Dave Byers,
Here.
Kara Riley, Jerry Sheridan, Jeffrey Glover,
Frank Grego for Colonel Glover.
Laura Carnover,
Soshia Roscoe for Laura Conover.
Rachel Mitchell,
Rebecca Baker appearing for Rachel Mitchell.
Chris Mays,
Nick Klingerman appearing for Chris May.
Dave Sanders, Dan Levy, Adam Adenolfi,
Did we account for everybody?
No,
Rosemary Pennell Lynch,
yep, I'm here.
and Margie Balfour.
Dan's here. I didn't hear Dan, but he's on.
Dan Levy,
Yes, I'm here.
okay, and Margie Balfour. Mr. Chair, we have
Thank you. All right, group, hopefully we'll be expeditious today. Our first item on the agenda is to approve the minutes from the May 6, 2024 meeting. They've been distributed. Does anybody have any proposed changes to the minutes? If not, can we get a motion to approve?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the May 6th of 2024 minutes.
A second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as they've been distributed. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right, minutes are approved. Okay, item number 3 deals with an approval we have to do for the, let's see, approval. So this is the plan and budget for 2024. This is what we have to sign and send in, right? Sybil, you want to go ahead and explain this item for the members? Can the members that are remote hear the staff? Yes, they can hear you.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. Item 3 on the agenda is the approval of the federal fiscal year Burn State Crisis Intervention Program Plan and Budget. Similar to the prior SCIP award, BJA requires the board to approve a program plan for each of the Burn Crisis Award and a budget for it. So for reference, the program plan covered or has a program goals, grant application process, funding priorities, reporting requirements, process of making sub-awards, and plan for collecting data. There was no change from the prior program plan, and we have that copy of the plan with the meeting materials that we sent out. The next item that BJ wants the board to approve is the award budget, which is displayed in table 1 of page 4 of the agenda. As you recall, the Bipartisan Safer Community Act authorized the implementation of this SCIP program, which appropriated funding to states for a period of 5 years. We've received the first 2 pots of the money, so the federal fiscal year 24 will be the third SCIP funding we'll be getting. Initially, based on the 22 and the 23 awards, we estimated the project period to be 4 years for the subsequent awards. However, for this one, it is a 3 years project period, or it has a 3 years project period. The total allocation was $3,493,824. 10% of it is allocated to cover administrative expenses to cover staff time to administer the grant. And the remaining 3.1 will be allocated for state level project, which is 1.7. 1.2 will go to the pass-through projects, and then the less than 10,000 jurisdiction amount for AOC will be $107,893. And with that, I'm happy to take any questions.
All right, so you're asking us to approve the plan and the budget.
Correct.
All right. Members, any questions? Are we clear on what we're doing? I see, show the record that David Sanders has joined us. Okay, can we get a motion to approve the 24 plan and 24 budget?
Mr. Chairman, if I may, Ms. Balfour also joined us as well, for the record.
Margie, welcome.
I move to approve the 24 plan and the 24 budget.
We have a second?
I'll second that. This is Dan Levy.
Is that any discussion or questions about the plan or the budget for 2024? All right, if not, then all in favor of the motion say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. All right, passes unanimously. Okay, the main item for business today really then is the item number 4 to look at and approve the requested new program plans, grants, and go through the allocation plan. So again, let's turn to staff to walk us through those proposed grants.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. Item 4 on the agenda is the approval of the fiscal year 26 Cycle 2 Arizona State Crisis Intervention Program Grant Allocation Plan. So for like many new federal grants, the initial burn crisis solicitation was flexible by design. Since then, BJA had provided additional guidance on the type of projects that they allow to be funded on, and those are programs that are directly connected to crisis intervention and projects that are focused on identifying risk and intervening before harm occurs. Programs that are focused on enforcement and reactive in nature are not eligible for funding. So we included this clarification on the announcement that we put out on the Cycle 2 announcement. The application period for this one was February 3rd, 2025, and it closed on March 14, 2025. For the direct route, we did not receive any applications. For the competitive route, though, we received five projects requesting a total amount of $1,294,808.21. Staff recommendation would fund 5 projects, 2 state level and 3 pass-through, totaling $1,041,972.41 that align with the grant's primary focus of crisis intervention. The recommendation would also comply with the allocation limits we have across the federal funding that are available. If you look at page 8 of the agenda, we have a summary of the allocation limits and the previously approved sub-awards for with the 22 and 23 monies. After the first funding cycle, we had around $1.3 million in balance for state level and pass-through projects, and we've allocated 836 of the 1.3 to the fiscal year 26 cycle across 4 projects, which will reduce the remaining balance by to around $481,000. And then page 9 has the allocation limits for the 24 award. Staff is recommending that we utilize $205,000 from the state level of projects that will leave the remaining award balance for around $2.9 million for future projects. And with that, I'm available to take any questions.
All right, group. We want to touch on each one of these grants, what they. I hear one, sure. All right. Can we just touch on them then? Let's just go like the City of Phoenix is first. You want to tell us what they're going to do?
Sure. Mr. Chair, the City of Phoenix is the police department has a crisis intervention team that's centered on improving crisis response to individuals with behavioral needs and reducing firearm-related suicides. The town of Parker is.
Wait, let's stop.
Sure.
Any questions on the proposed Phoenix project, Phoenix Police Department?
I have just a general question. Do the cuts to the DOJ grants that recently, were announced at the federal level, are they going to affect these grants coming down to us in Arizona?
Mr. Chair and Ms. Balfour, the cuts that were announced were for the technical, the TTA, those are for the agencies that provide assistance for ACJC and for other ACAs to administer the federal grant. So it's not the sub award or the program funding that
Okay.
we the skip. So.
So I think the answer is no at this moment, but I was talking with staff before. I know I've got a federal grant outside of this program in which it's still approved, but every time we apply for the money, we don't get it. And then you go to the feds and they say, well, check into it. And then we hear nothing. So right now, these are all still approved, but there does seem to be some level of confusion and implementation. So I guess we have to stand by. We have to proceed on the basis that these are approved monies and move forward. But things seem to change almost week by week.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. As to the Phoenix project, any questions? Okay. Let's go to, you wanted to jump to Parker?
Sure. Mr. Chair and members, the town of Parker is proposing a project to combat the recent risk of gun violence through the deployment of surveillance infrastructure and public education on firearm safety and gun violence prevention education.
Questions on Parker's program? All right, who you want to do next?
We can do Melibiz. Melibiz Community Hub is a local nonprofit that's focused on youth programs aged between 12 and 24 that are at risk of becoming involved in gun violence. And they provide crisis intervention, mentorship, conflict resolution workshops, education on the consequences of gun violence.
Any questions?
How many, I guess, kids, I'd say, do they serve?
Mr. Chair and Mr. Klingerman, they have not included the size of the participants. They
I
have.
was just curious to see what their reach was, like the scope of the program, like how many potential kids are they actually reaching with it? Just curious.
We have provided funding through the last cycle of the solicitation, so at that we can get some information at a later date regarding that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Thank you.
Other questions? Okay, who's next?
Cox, similar to the last funding that we provided for Cox in partnership with the ACJC, Cox put together research and data on their target audience using a statewide approach, using streaming YouTube and display ads. And this funding will be focused on the importance of veteran suicide intervention and proper vehicular gun storage.
Yeah, let me ask on this one. I know this is actually a grant to ACJC, right? You contract with Cox at Housework. So we did this last time. Do we get any results? Is there a report that says, did it do any good? I never saw any of the PSAs or anything, but do we know if the last round that we did had any positive or any impact at all? Do we know?
Mr. Chair, we have a gun safety page dedicated on our website that has the PSAs that were produced under that project. Cox also submitted the impression numbers to us, and they do it periodically as a progress report on a quarterly basis. So we can certainly provide that information as well.
Well, you guys must have looked at it. What were the results? Is it that we're just spending a lot of money putting the advertisement out? I'm not against it. It just, do we know if it has any positive impact or any way to measure that at all?
We're certainly reaching a large audience. We, from what we've heard through the display ads, there were the participants have been utilizing the videos or watching the videos without skipping. So we're able to track all of that. But if there's anything else.
Mr. Chairman, the Cox project, really what it gives back to us is reach and exposure. And I don't have those numbers off the top of my head. As Sienni alluded to, that information's on our website. But as far as the impact of that reach, that we don't have. I'm not sure how we would do that, because we would be saying that this wide reach, we expect it to result in a reduction in gun violence of X. And while we would like that, the project wasn't designed for that purpose. It was designed to communicate wide exposure.
But do we have that data? Did they give you the data on the level of exposure and where?
Mr. Chairman, yes, and that's what Sandy's talking about, that we have on our website to report on. While I can't speak in general numbers, I can tell you when we talked with Cox, the exposure was more than what they had originally expected it would be, the reach of it. And so they look at, for example, the number of times the video is clicked on, say on the internet, on an internet advertisement, and then they measure, or a YouTube video, and then they measure the number of times that the video is watched in its entirety. And so a lot of people will start those videos because they're acting more like a commercial. And then they'll, on a typical YouTube video, you'll have a period of seconds, and then you'll have the ability to skip that video. Well, they're measuring all of that, how many times it's skipped, how many times it's watched. And I do remember they were really pleased with the number of times that the entire video was watched when it could have been skipped. There are also some instances where the entire video is forced, and so they track that as well, where you can't skip. And they're also tracking the number of times that the video is played on local cable programming. Although I will tell you, I saw one of the videos. I have Sling TV, so I don't have cable. But on the Comedy Central channel on Sling TV, one of those videos played during prime time. It was just before dinner time that I saw that video come up. And so they're measuring all of that. Best case scenario, we'd like to know how it impacts gun violence, particularly reductions, but I don't think we can collect that. I think that would be very difficult to reach.
Okay, questions from the committee?
Are you making new videos under this grant directed at veterans, it sounds like?
Mr. Chairman, Nick, yes, I believe that there are a series of maybe 3 concepts, and correct me if I'm wrong, Sandy, a series of 3 concepts that they will come up with that are targeted to a different audience. One of them, at my request, was that we targeted veterans.
You know, we operate a special website called Law for Veterans. And maybe we can make sure that we get Cox to link to that, because we could have a link to the video, whatever they produce. So,
Yeah.
so we have specialized websites. What are the other 2 categories, you know?
Mr. Chairman, I believe one of them was guns in cars. There was a particular problem that we were having. I don't know if we're still having it now, but it was peaking where guns in cars were the source of the gun used in either an illegal activity or in an accident or suicide. So it was those 2. I can't remember the third off the top of my head.
Well, just again, we run websites called Law for Kids, Law for Seniors, Law for Veterans. And if any of them match, like the gun one, you're probably talking about kids, young people. They might be 18, 19, 20. Guns are everywhere, and they're in the cars. And so if you want to link to those websites, we can hook you up. So.
And Mr. Chairman, those videos, you can link to those videos anywhere you want, any way you want. Doesn't matter. We don't own them. The state owns them. And we're running them off of our website, but that could be done on any agency's website if they wanted to.
Other questions?
Mr. Chair, this is Rosemary Pena Lynch. Can somebody just guide us towards where we can find that information that's been discussed? I'm looking at the website and I just can't seem to place my finger on it.
Mr. Chair and Ms. Pelinich, we can send the link out after the meeting.
That would be great. Thank you.
Talking about the link to the different TSAs videos.
Yes, and the results of whatever it is that is being reported out, it's how many times it's been clicked on and information that might be useful to your question, Mr. Chair, which I thought was an excellent question and a good measure.
Mr. Chairman, Ms. Pena Lynch, it's available on our website under the programs tab. And if you go in the programs, you go under drug, gang, and violent crime control. From there, we have an AZ Skip page that will navigate to all the materials that we have for AZ Skip.
Maybe you could just send the link out to.
Yes. Mhm.
That'd be
We'll
great.
put it up on the Google Meet for sure.
Yeah, I think when we view these, the ones that are coming back for like a renewal, it'd be nice to have whatever data you have, that so we, do our due diligence that it's at least getting viewed and so forth.
Mr. Chairman, just one more point on the data collection. Just to make it clear that they're reporting that data to us through our grants portal. It's not visible on the website. The videos are, but the data is not visible, but we will make it visible so that you can see that. We'll pull it off and create a report, and then we'll post it on there and send it out to the members.
Okay, and the last one is Judicial Branch of Maricopa.
Mr. Chair, that product is focused on the critical surge and firearm related offenses among juveniles through various components such as victim impact panels, credible messenger involvement, and youth presentation.
Questions about the program and proposed in Maricopa County? Okay, if there are no other questions, then we're going to need a motion to approve these grant requests, correct?
Yes, sir.
So, members, somebody want to make a motion we could approve the whole package?
This is Rebecca. I'll make a motion. I move that we approve the fiscal year 26 cycle 2 state, Arizona State Crisis Intervention Program grant allocation plan.
I second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. All right, and then as I recall, don't these have to go now back to BJA for them to approve?
Mr. Chair, that's correct.
So the saga isn't over yet. So if the recipients, I don't know if anybody's watching, don't go out and spend the money yet. Wait for BJA to confirm. I think they did that reasonably, because I don't know if there's anybody there anymore left, but they did it pretty fast last time, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Any other business staff besides the call to the public? Nothing on the agenda, right?
That's it.
All right, then do we have any members of the public who wish to address this committee? It doesn't look like it.
We have no email from the
No
public.
email. All right, if there's no other business, we are adjourned.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and
Thank you,
members.
everybody.
Thank you.